Welcome back. Well, it's a fountain of knowledge and I'm definitely tapping into it. Seated right here with Professor George Wajackoyah, getting to know a little bit of his life story. We just reached the point where you decided to come back home after 20 plus years. How long was it exactly?
From 1991 to 2012. I don't know how many years are those.
That's roughly it's 21 years.
Yes.
Oh my.
Yes.
Why decide to come back at this particular point? You've established yourself in various countries, including the US. You're citizen perhaps already at this particular point, not yet, but you've established yourself in the US and the UK. Why come back to Kenya at this point?
The umbilical cord that came
the family
with me,
roots. Okay.
and the placenta, and the blood my mother shed always haunted me. There's nothing as beautiful as home. A lot of us out there could have big vehicles, big homes, pay taxes, and shroud yourself in winter, face racism and what have you. But I decided to break the yoke and to come back home, and I came back home. And I've never left, even though I've not cut off my connections.
Yeah.
I still have my homes in the US. I have a home in the UK. I have a farm in Texas.
Okay.
I go in and out. My wife is still working in the US.
Yeah.
My children are doing well. But home, I feel this is where I belong.
Definitely. The soul calls for you.
Yes.
But have your kids traveled back as well?
Only my daughter.
Only your daughter?
Yeah, my other son died the other day in July.
Sorry
in
about
the
that.
US during the lockdown. So we had to go through a lot of issues. But God wanted to take him away, and God had that better for him.
Yeah.
He was the one who was like, I just want to come home, but Dad, I just want to come home. I said, well.
Yeah.
So he took me to the airport, and then when I reached here through Tanzania, the mother calls me the following week on a Friday and says, are you okay? I said, fine. What is it, honey? And she's like, well, we are here. The Lord has taken him. I said, what? And it's like, Chitham is gone. I said, okay, what happened? So I didn't take it so much badly because she actually cancelled me.
Okay.
She's the one who has lost son that she carried, and she's cancelling me. And it took me quite a long time to have it sink in.
Yeah.
But the experience I've had in life, I said, well, if Prophet Muhammad went to be with the Lord, if Jesus Christ went to be with the Lord, I am also going to be with the Lord.
I mean,
So
no,
if
yeah.
my son has gone, it's bad for parents to bury
Yeah,
their
and
children.
no parent should bury their
But
children.
because he went there, he just went to prepare ways.
I want to take you back when you just came back to Kenya.
yes.
Were you able to reconnect with the family instantly?
It was not easy for me,
Yeah.
given the fact that given the reasons that I fled the country.
Okay.
Emotionally, I was not there. Physically, I was not there. Even my family was afraid of coming closer to me because of what happened some years ago.
Okay. Okay.
So it was a very painful period for me. And for the first 1 year, I was staying in a slum. I went, first of all, to stay in a garden estate, and things were not well. So I went somewhere, and I was hiding. But I was hiding for nothing.
Yeah.
Later on, I found out that I was a free man and nobody was looking for me.
Okay.
So I came out of the closet, of course, after having announced for the presidency. The first time I announced for the president was not because I wanted to run for president.
Why was that?
I wanted to be alive, to be kept alive with the media.
Okay.
Because I didn't have resources. I had the desire to run, but I didn't have resources.
Yeah.
And then my party was not registered. I had to go to court. I spent almost 17 million at that particular time. But then the party was registered, and I stayed. After the election, I stayed. I said, I'm not going anywhere.
Yes. How was the experience running for office?
It was the best experience because I realized that there was a lot of criminals. There was a lot of people who were brokers. They would come and give you the best stories and take your money away. So it was a good learning lesson.
Yes.
I don't even regret. So
Well,
I lost a lot of
politics is definitely a dirty game.
Yes,
but
yes.
pretty sure you're 2 times wiser right now.
Definitely.
We'll get into your political ambitions, if any, because I can see your party flag right behind you, Rhea.
Yes, this is my baby.
Yeah. Away from politics right now, you come back, you establish yourself locally in terms of being a lawyer. Talk to us about the journey of working within the Kenyan space. Did you have to go back to law school, first of all?
Yes, I went to enroll at the Kenya School of Law.
Yes.
But by that time, they had passed new laws that all foreign lawyers were supposed to matriculate themselves
With
in Riara University.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I went to Riara University, and then I had made an application to the Kenya School of Law, and then I appeared before them, and they said, no, 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 you have to follow the law. So while I was at Riara University, I got a reprieve. They exempted me, and they said, come on board. But then I had spent 220,000 in Riara, and the Kenya School of Law was going to pay 199. So I decided to do both. I did Riara
concurrently.
Okay. And then I did the Kenya School of Law, and I passed all those examinations in one sitting. Then I went to Rachir and Company, where I did my pupillage. Then, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the former Chief Justice, William Tunga, who, for reasons unknown to me, who had realized that I was I had finished Kenya School of Law. He called me to his office and he said, you know what, I'm retiring, but I want to swear you in. I've selected a few that I'll swear in, especially those who are not sworn in last time. I want you to be among them.
So you were sworn in before your crop?
Yes.
Okay.
My crop was sworn in 4 months after that.
Later on.
Yeah. So after swearing in, on the day of swearing in, the same Chief Justice, I think he had read my biography.
Your name preceded you.
Yeah. So he asked me to address the court, to advise lawyers, and I was like, wow, why is this man recognizing me? And I love Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice Mutunga, because he's the only Kenyan who has recognized my talent. The rest, leave him alone. Even now, politicians do not want anything to do with me.
Well, we're here. We've recognized you, sir.
No, the media, of course, definitely. I have to thank the media.
Yeah.
But the entire system, they want nothing to do with me.
I don't know why most people are celebrated outside rather than from home, especially those who have gotten to places of distinction. I don't know why, but maybe we'll get to talk about that later on. You set your foot down, you hit the ground running, open a law firm.
A law firm in Westlands.
Yes.
It was a small, dingy place. I fitted myself in, and the first case that I won was an immigration case. Where there was a Dutch client, a guy who had been deported out of this country, and after spending 20 years, maliciously deported by immigration. So I realized when I looked into the document that he was actually deported under the Vagrancy Act that had been repealed. So I appealed to the minister, and we thank Matiang'i. Matiang'i is one of those ministers that I would wish him well, because he's a man of principle and he's a man who understands. I made an appeal to him. He looked at the whole thing, threw it out and said, return this man here. And that's when I realized that if we had 5 or 6 Matiang'is in this country, maybe I would be recognized, because he recognized my work. But he has not had a cup of tea with me. Hopefully one of these days he will.
No problem. Is this where immigration law actually started? That's where you hit it off,
Yes, because I'm an immigration law practitioner in the UK with 2 law degrees in immigration, besides all the degrees I have. And then I had the passion of representing people. The world has become a global village. It's a technical village. People come in here to invest, but how do they go around their rights? People come in here to claim asylum, but immigration is not even taught by any university, because people here are so much myopic. They have not traveled out of the country, the majority. And even if they have either gone out as tourists or as educationists, but not as asylum seekers to know the pitch. But because I went through that transition, I was like, come on, we are a country in the zone of conflict. We are a country where people are coming in, and we are a country where people are getting displaced. So we need somebody to look into their rights. So personally, I took to it to study, to do immigration cases. And I've been doing them pro bono. because most of immigrants do not have money.
Is this, it's passion driven, because you knew where the shoe pinched.
Yes, yes.
Because you've been in this case, in their scenario.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
And because I was the best lawyer, immigration lawyer in 1999 in the UK, the best lawyer of the year. So that passion was in me. Having practiced in the US, knowing about the US system, I'll show you those books later on, I found out that this country is blank. The people who profess to practice immigration law are all middlemen or lawyers who go into Immigration Act and then they look at what the law says. Yeah. And most of them actually deflate immigration practice by rushing to judicial review without knowing the procedure. Okay. So we are creating a precedent, and we have also asked the Department of Immigration, and I would like to applaud Mr. Muteshi, the Director General of Immigration, who actually has opened up migration law class at the University of Nairobi by collaborating with the Maastricht University, who have come in and opened up, and hopefully, we shall have a few lawyers to be trained, because the course is only for immigration officers and security officers within IGAD region. Okay. We've built a very good rapport at the University of Nairobi. Okay.
Well, that's really proper. Do you also lecture there?
Yeah, I've been lecturing at USIU. Okay. Master's class in international law. I've also been a guest lecturer at Parklands campus. I've also gone to Nazarene University Law School, but I've concentrated more outside than here. But I'm now contributing because I've pioneered this law practice for immigration. Okay. And you have seen that in the entire region, we don't have immigration lawyers. Yes. So you have seen what Tanzanians did. They had to come to me here. The Ugandan, Dr. Nyanzi's case, she had to come here. Now, Tigrian case, they have to come here
as well. I want us to talk a little bit at length about it, because you've represented people of notable character, notable status within the East African region. How exactly is that? Are you the celebrity lawyer go-to when issues arise?
I think God is the one who is leading this, because my faith in God is undebatable. And God shows, because of my spiritual power, God has been able to give me a power of discernment. Okay. And because I do not know how this happens, only God can explain.
It all falls into place.
But it all falls into place. Okay. And you can see recently when I broke the myth of deportation and removal because of political agreements. Yes. And the Tanzanian case taught me a lesson, because I was arrested. But we managed to do what we did. But all credit goes to the president. Because if the president said no, as it used to be before, when Ochuka was repatriated and Tanzanians repatriated in exchange of the so-called political stability in the region, President Uhuru has stayed put. He doesn't even want to be concerned. If it's human rights, it's human rights, and human rights should not be abused. Okay. Look at what has happened in Tanzania. The president has taught Magufuli a lesson. You beat about your people. When they come here, international law will take its own discourse. Look at what happened in Uganda. When Stella Nyanzi came here, we did what we did. Look at the Eritrea, and I have more political clans from different countries that are here. So far, I've taken 16 out of this country to Canada.
Which one was the most challenging?
The Honorable Lema.
Okay.
Lema.
Well, he's safe right now.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yes, but what was challenging about it, apart from the being arrested?
Well, me and him were arrested, and I was going to be charged with the human trafficking. Okay. But the most challenging thing is that the arresting officer did not understand international law or refugee law. But do I have to blame him? I cannot blame him, because we are still very low there. All right. And the only thing that I can advise, since we are still very progressive, all right, is, do we have to blame the government for not training officers? Come on, we can come in and help. And the president has been very good, because he's allowed some of us now to work freely with the security systems, so that we improve them instead of doing whatever. Like now, I go to police stations, I go to police colleges to teach, to speak about good things for police officers, to look at me as one of them.
As one of them, because you served as well.
Yes, and this has really improved the police. It has really encouraged a lot of police officers, and many have gone back to university. Yes. I've even sponsored 14 at Kenya Airport's police unit. I came in And because I had some scholarships, I went there, and they took these scholarships, and some of them are very happy. If you want some of them to be interviewed, we can make that.
That possible.
Yes.
Talk to us about giving back to society. But even as you do, I mean, you're a man of fine taste. I mentioned that earlier. When I see you, I definitely note the watch, the ring, definitely fine suit. But on the other side, you're definitely giving back to society as well. How do you balance this?
I only wore this because you are coming.
Yeah,
and I also wore this because I have to appear, whatever. But you find that most of the time I use matatus.
Okay.
Sometimes when I leave matatus, you find people pointing at me. So I'm like, am I a fugitive or what have you? I've done so much, but I don't like talking about what I do. Apart from the most recent one, which was on a Friday, where I rescued a young girl. Her mother approached me on Facebook, and she told me everything. She has been following me for 4 years. So every time I see this woman clicking, I like, comment. So I looked at her profile, and I was like, so she didn't approach me. I called her, and I said, Ngina, you've been following me. Can you tell me why you're following me? He said, look, I've been following you for over 4 years on Facebook, but I'm one of your admirers. So I said, and what can I do for you? What do you do for a living? Then she told me my husband died. I live in Kitengela. I have 3 daughters. I've struggled and struggled. And the one I have now, who is studying journalism, has been sent away.
Okay.
And I can't afford to pay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I felt so bad that a young girl is sitting at home. The father died. The mother is struggling. The mother has been following me. And the mother has never asked me for aid. And that's why I wrote that check you saw on the... And I called her and said, I want to make sure that this girl finishes her degree. And there are so many kids who call me Papa.
Okay.
And some have been named, some kids have taken my name, especially the street kids that have introduced back into the system. But the most vulnerable people in society that I help most are police officers.
All right.
Because I do understand what they go through.
Yes.
I know that they are on their own, besides getting a meager salary. I go to police stations, and my passion is to make sure that all police officers are educated, like those ones we have in Britain, so that they can serve. I would like us as Kenyans to look at them as brothers instead of looking at them as whatever. So my passion is in the police service and immigration.
Speaking about passion, apart from immigration, the police service, and everything else we've talked about, your political angle, why this? Why exactly are you putting one foot into politics?
You know, if we don't do it, then we shall leave people who are looting. And we know, here I cannot mention, but there's a class of people who came in, class of politicians who came in after Kibaki, a class of politicians who were not there before Kibaki, who have become so rich all of a sudden, who have become so much mighty all of a sudden, who think they can shape the destiny of this country, for the future of this country, who think that they have their hands on everything. They have to be stopped. They have to be stopped so that we can restore sanity in this country. The president has tried his level best. Initially, I was not supporting Uhuru Kenyatta. But now I'm supporting him because when he came and shook somebody's hand, Raila Odinga, and we saw what he was doing for the sake of unity in this country, I said, now the son of Ngina is taking the right direction.
When you say they must be stopped, power lies with the people. It's a democratic nation. How exactly will you, starting a party, stop whatever you call as massive looting?
This party is bestowed on what Jesus did, on corruption. And I'll take 2 minutes just to explain what Roots Party means.
Okay, and if it applies in our situation as it is.
Yes. And I can see some people stealing my matrix, but it hasn't worked because I have the idea, they don't have it. There was a time in Israel, in Judaism, when the Romans were ruling Israel, and they were collecting taxes by force, and the children of Israel were left under very extreme poverty. They were left homeless. There were so many beggars, and that's the time when Jesus came in. And when Jesus came in, you could see that there were more beggars there because he associated with people who are under the line of poverty.
All right.
So one time he was like, what do we do to kill corruption? He also became angry one day. He went into the temple and he saw how money exchange was taking place. And he drifted into anger, threw those people out of that, and you know what he said.
Yes, yes.
And then one day there was a complaint that there was a man who was of Jewish origin, but he had stolen so much that he was so proud to see Jesus because Jesus was not his class. And that man was known as Zacchaeus. So when Jesus saw him on the tree, he shook him, said, I'm shaking corruption. And when that man fell down, he begged Jesus and said, come with me to my home. I will show you how much I've stolen. That's why Shake the Tree movement came from. So if you want to join Roots Party, first of all, you have to climb that tree. Let Kenyans ask you, how many wives do you have? Where is this wealth coming from? This may appear to be funny, but it's not. Because it has really gotten into people in Nairobi now.
So it has an ideology. Your
it's
party
an ideology which is based on principles of wantonness. Like now, for you to join Roots Party, it's free. But you join on condition that if you want to run for election, go and recruit people in your ward. Bring us 500 people on the table. So when the elections come, for example, if you've brought in 500 people from a ward, and a member of parliament has brought in 1,000, and a governor has brought in this, when it comes to primaries, definitely you have to go to the people to seek the mandate. So, but if you want to jump to another party,
I get you.
So our party is growing so massively in the country, but we are doing it very silently. But the idea is corruption, shaking off corruption, and reinventing ourselves and giving people power so that they cannot have to listen to other people. Let them make their own destiny. Like the people who are recruiting in Roots now are border borders. How many border borders do we have who are graduates? Many of them. But are they given the opportunity? No. But if somebody wants to run in a ward, and it's a border and it's a graduate or it's not a graduate, but he qualifies, he knows the problems of those people in that particular environment better than any other thing. And that's why when he goes to the ward, he will be accountable to his people because he belongs to them, rather than having a man with Prado or wearing a watch like this, coming from Nairobi in an SUV with tinted glasses, telling the locals, I've come to save you, I'm your savior. But when it comes to rain, he's sitting in a podium and people are sitting there. So we are going like fire.
Politics is local. As we conclude, we've seen you once in the presidential ballot. Do you have any aspirations to vie again?
At the moment, I can't say anything.
You can't say anything?
Yes, sir.
But we'll definitely continue monitoring. Thank you so much for your time, Professor Wajackoyah. It has been an invigorating discussion. Definitely get to canvass some of the achievements you've made in your life. And I must say they're quite a lot.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a short break right here on Morning Express. Thank you for staying with us. We'll be back with more for you.